Have you guys ever heard of mental projections? The experience I'm going to share with you tonight is a different kind of out-of-body experience because it's not an out-of-body experience. It's an inside-the-body experience, I guess. You don't have to leave. It's kind of like shifting to another space to access information from other realms. And if you want to compare it to something, maybe the fact that some of the psychics use this technique to access information from other realms is the best comparable I can have for you. But basically, when I don't practice mental projection, it happens to me usually, but when it happens to me, I have a download of information right here, right now, from the Akashic records. So people, like, I wish I had visited this big white library up in the sky that everyone talks about, and I hope to visit it. I've mentioned it in a previous video that's one of my goals, to visit the Akashic records at the library up in the sky. That's how I call it. It's how I visualize it. But so I haven't been there, but I've had Akashic Records experiences. And this one that I'm going to talk about is one that I had in November 2023 after my dog died. A few months after that, I was in my grieving period. It was a tough time for me. And I really wanted to astral project and go see my dog on the other side. And it wasn't happening. And I practiced and I tried and nothing was working. But eventually in November, I had this first astral projection that was an Akashic Records mental projection. So I did not leave my body. This information came to me with a lot of visuals. It's like you're immersed in information, but compared to like psychics will maybe not have a full-on immersive experience, but there are various degrees of having experiences with the Akashic Records. You can just get, like an information download that's kind of like clear knowing, and you can get visuals, clairvoyance, all that. Sometimes you're immersed in it, and those are mental projections. So the mental projection that happened to me at that time was, and this is the best way I can describe it. It's not always like this, but if you imagine a kaleidoscope has plenty of like geometrical patterns in there, and inside the geometrical patterns is a different color or whatever, but inside, okay, so imagine in my mental projection, what happened was I was waking up in the morning in that hypnagogic state. I was suddenly immersed inside a big, but not big too, but it felt like it was right here. Like, it wasn't going very far. It surrounded me. I was inside a kaleidoscope, and all these geometrical patterns were shifting around me, okay? But in those geometrical forms that were shifting, there were images and videos of me and my life. Okay, and when I say videos and images, I mean, if I looked at like a triangle right here. There was a triangle that was moving and I zoomed in on it. I was immersed in it. So it wasn't like a video or a photo that you flip through your phone. It's live. It's alive, right? So I was in there, and all these, lives were shifting, and they were all my life shifting around me. And wherever I looked, I could see some other part of my life. But this was not my life as I know it. It was more like my life as all the possibilities of what my life could be, either in the future or maybe even in other dimensions. Okay? And yeah, that's the best way I can explain it. It's like it was me seeing not the Matrix, but maybe the multiverse of all of the possibilities for myself and my life. This Julie, because it was all this Julie, okay? It wasn't my past lives or my future lives. It was this person's possibilities. I, yeah, and I knew all of a sudden that that's what that meant. So this lasted 2 or 3 seconds. It was a very short mental projection. And when I came out of it, I didn't remember a single of these possibilities. All I could bring back, it was so intense and so much information from all of these maybe there were thousands of possibilities I viewed in like 2 seconds. I couldn't cram it back up all into my physical brain. My brain would not be big enough to hold all that information, but it was a huge kind of like information download that you don't remember that's probably locked up in here. But there was some kind of emotional tone from, okay, so I did remember, this is what I saw, what I just explained, what it meant. These were possibilities either from my future or from other dimensions where I'm living out lives. And it kind of gave me this, yeah, emotional tone of hope and happiness and, you know, reassurance, all these things I'd been looking for. And I'm not going to say that throughout all of this I didn't feel any negative emotions, because you could feel that there were some of these life experiences that felt darker than some others. But basically the tone I came out of was hope, happiness, and reassurance. So this is not a typical OBE, but it can happen. And for those of you who didn't know or who don't know what that is, if you're practicing and trying stuff to astral project, and then you find yourself in a projection where you don't feel like you've gone anywhere, but you've experienced something, it's probably a mental projection. It might not be with the Akashic records, but maybe you had a projection where you didn't leave your body. So yeah, so that was the first example of that I wanted to share. There will be more because I've had a few experiences like this, but that one I was happy to get after my dog died, because it gave me that hope I needed, that there was a future for me. Because I don't know if you saw my video about my dark night of the soul, but that was a very dark period, and I was not planning on staying here, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so that video see, it feels like it, yeah. So that experience was probably the first hint I got from the other side that there was a lot more in store for Julie. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this one. It was a shorter one. And I'll see you in the next one.